What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Tia B Stokes Show. How have we been loving the episodes, you guys? Have you guys been enjoying it? What did you guys think about Cambria's story? How did you feel about Kenna's story? How about Issa's story, all about self-love, and also Kelsey's? Make sure you guys let us know in the chat what you guys are feeling, what the vibe is, who else you want to see on the show. This show is all about other people's opportunities and how we can grow and learn from them. So I'm so excited to bring out our new guest today. Without further ado, we are going to bring out our guest today. Put your hands together for Mesa. Mesa is here. We are so excited to have Mesa. Mesa is also a part of our Calamity group up here in northern Utah. She is a mother, a beautiful mom. She is a beautiful person on the inside and out, and she has an amazing story that I'm excited for you guys to hear and to get to know her. So, Mesa, introduce yourself to our audience.
I'm Mesa Biacco. I am 25 years old. I'm from Idaho.
She's an Idaho.
I'm an Idaho girl. The very
Is that what they say, Idahoan?
Idahoan? Whatever. Land of the Predators. It's great.
How long have you been dancing?
Oh gosh, I started dancing really young. My mom was a dance teacher, so I've been dancing most of my life.
Wow. Yeah. And then did you dance in college?
I did. So I actually got a scholarship to Dixie State for their dance team, and I was on their performing arts team called Raging Red. So I danced the entire time I was there. I was on scholarship, and it was fun. Loved it.
That's so cool. So you're a singer and a dancer.
I'm a performer.
She's a performer. She performs.
I perform.
Maybe we can get a performance out of you.
Oh, yeah.
Shine bright. I love it. Well, I love that. Thank you for sharing that, intro. I think it's important for people to know who you are. But if you wouldn't mind sharing your story with us and your life opportunity. This show is all about, I call my cancer journey an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I truly feel like they are opportunities for us to grow, learn. Like that's the only way that we're refined and we become better human beings.
Right. Yeah.
Is through those moments. So I would love to hear your story. Like, I'd love to hear your life opportunity.
Yeah. So I decided that today I'd talk about my health and fertility journey.
Yeah.
So similar to Cambria last week, I am also an infertility patient, my husband and I. So kind of how it started, it's a crazy story, but a couple years ago, I was 22 and I was dancing 6 hours a day. I was touring with my performance group, and all of a sudden it felt like I got the most intense food poisoning of my life. I couldn't crawl up my stairs. Like, I was on my hands and knees, throwing up like crazy, like aches. I felt like I had the most intense flu. And I was like, well, that was weird. And then it came back the next week, and the next week after that, and after that. And I finally said, you know what, Derek, my husband, something's wrong. We should go look into it and we should check. So I ended up seeing 7 different doctors, including 2 days at University of Utah Hospital. I had over 60 blood tests done. I had everything from a double colonoscopy and endoscopy to an MRI to everything. And this went on for about 2 years and no one could figure out.
2 years?
2 years. And it's just that sick. So I kept saying, like, there's something wrong. Like, I went from dancing and being this crazy, energetic person to, like, not being able to move, you know? And nobody could figure out what was wrong with me for 2 years. Yeah. And there was actually one doctor who said, oh, honey, I think you just need to go see a psychiatrist. Like,
oh, my gosh.
And a lot of people, no one was figuring out what was wrong with me. So, I mean, I, too, even thought, you know what, maybe I'm just crazy because no one can figure out what's wrong with me.
Don't you hate that? Like, I was sick for months, it wasn't 2 years long, but I was sick for like 7 months up until my diagnosis. And to be honest, right when I did get diagnosed, I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Oh,
like,
yeah. And
like, I was just like, oh, thank you, because I'm not crazy.
Oh, I know. And then everyone has their opinion too. Like, every doctor would tell me something different. Oh, you have this, get on this medication. Oh, you have this, go on this diet, all this crazy stuff. But none of it was working. And so I kind of got discouraged after 2 years and just decided to, like, give up, And then this is where I like to say God came into my life and blessed me. We moved from St. George up to Orem here, and we moved a block away from a fertility clinic.
Yeah.
And I had never even considered fertility, but we were driving up and down the street one day, and there was a banner sitting out front that said Conception's Fertility Clinic, and it was like I got hit with a lightning bolt that said you need to go in there right away.
Wow.
And it was in the middle of COVID. It was March 2020. It was crazy. So I had an online appointment, and within the first 10 minutes he knew exactly what was wrong with me.
Wow.
So I got diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis. So, not similar to cancer, but in a way, they grade it the same as far as severity. So 1 being the least and 4 being the most intense.
Yeah.
So I was diagnosed with stage 4. It had gone from my lower hip area up into my rib cage.
Oh my gosh.
And
tell people about what is endometriosis.
Yeah, so endometriosis is like an autoimmune disorder. So it's most common in women. It is common in women. But it basically is flared by the hormones in your body that cause you to ovulate, or when you go on your period, that sort of thing. And what it does is it eats away the lining of your uterus, and in my case, my stomach, that sort of thing, and it creates scar tissue.
Wow.
So one of the most common symptoms is infertility.
Yeah.
So I went into that clinic, and they were like, yeah, this is pretty bad. Like we should immediately start doing all these tests, and became a pincushion to just spend my life. And yeah, it was crazy. And from there, I just immediately jumped into it, and I had started the IVF process. They gave me 3 options. They told me, if you want to get better, you can either go into a chemically induced menopause, and you might not ever come back out of it.
Yeah.
So we could induce you into menopause. You could have a full hysterectomy and a surgery to scrape out all the scar tissue in your body.
Oh my gosh.
Or you could get pregnant, like, immediately. And so I was like, okay, wait, I'm 23. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Like,
you're like,
So it was crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just insane to go from, but like you said, the second they told me, it was more relief than like panic. It's like, finally, I'm not crazy. There's something actually wrong.
Yes.
So
and I think a lot of people can like relate with that, because even when I shared that part of my journey, people are like, I know, I feel like crazy when you're going through something so you know that's debilitating, like your physical activity and everything. Like it is, but it's reassuring when you do get that diagnosis that
it is.
You're like, okay, thank you.
Thank you, I'm not crazy.
Wow. So how did you handle that news?
Well,
because I mean that's hard, and that's hard to, and those 3 things are like, okay, this is what you have to do. It's like a life-changing, all 3 of them.
It is. It was, everything was completely life-changing, and you know, I thought I was pretty young. Obviously there's more people who have kids younger, but I felt like I've always wanted to have kids. That's been something important to Derek and I, but we never thought this would be the way that like it would happen. And so I kind of had like a whoa, what, like, why moment. But immediately just a thought popped into my head that said, this is not about you. And I have said this before, and I share a little bit on my Instagram, that sometimes God puts opportunities into our lives not for us, but to bless somebody else. So I have my youngest sister, Journey, who I love very much. Hi, Journey. You got to meet her.
Yes. Love you, Journey.
Hi, Jay. She has what's called Turner syndrome. And with Turner syndrome, you are not able to have kids. And it's heartbreaking. And the second I found out about my opportunity and my journey, I'm like, you know what? This isn't about me. And so immediately I said, I'm doing this for Journey. And then after that, it was just one hit after the other. So I started doing IVF, started going through all the tests. For those who have been through IVF, it's a very intense process. And then they called us and said, hey, something's wrong with Derek too. So something wrong with Derek. They told us that Derek was basically almost sterile, and his sperm count was dropping by the millions every week.
Oh my gosh.
So they told us, listen, like, this is more like, you got to do this now. And then they told us that 60% of his sperm was genetically abnormal, which means that what little he had left, 60% wouldn't create viable embryos.
Wow.
So they immediately said, okay, now Derek needs to jump into surgery. We've got to do this crazy surgery to pull out the healthy sperm to fertilize the embryos. And that's like, this is the only way. So he did this super painful, rough surgery. And in the process of them moving the sperm from the hospital to the fertility clinic, they defrosted the sperm too fast and every single one died.
Oh my gosh.
We lost everything. So then I got the phone call right after I got out of my egg retrieval surgery, which is also very painful. And they called us and said, sorry, just so you know, we lost everything. Like, we don't know what we're gonna do. Our only option is we have one tube left of his sample he gave us a couple weeks ago, and we're gonna use that. So it was crazy. And then it was like the tears, like, oh my gosh, seriously, Derek too? Like, why? But we were like, you know what? We'll stay positive. It's okay. I went in for my embryo transfer a week later, and we had one out of all of them. We had one perfect embryo.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, yay, we've got one. We had others frozen, but we didn't know the status of them because of the genetically abnormal possibilities. So we had one perfect embryo, and I transferred it, and it stuck right away. We were thrilled. Within 3 days, I got a phone call that I was pregnant. I was
oh my gosh.
so excited. And then I was like, oh, this is it. Like, I made it through the fire. Thank you, Heavenly Father, so much. And then I started bleeding, and I started getting this stabbing pain. And I was like, oh my gosh, what now? I went in. It's very rare. It's like a 1% chance. My ovary completely ruptured from my egg retrieval. So I went in, my whole ovary ruptured. I only had one. My other one had been eaten away from my endo, and my one good ovary ruptured. And I started bleeding and throwing up, and it was crazy. And they were like, oh, go home, be on bed rest, start chugging like Gatorade and all this stuff, try to keep it in. And I got a phone call 3 days later that I lost my embryo. So it was so heartbreaking. It was rough.
Wow.
It was really hard. But in the middle of all of that, I just had this gut feeling, you have to share your story.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, well, I mean, I guess I'll start sharing my story. So I started sharing on Instagram little posts.
Yeah.
And it was just another huge testimony to me that this was not about me.
Yeah.
This was for everybody else. Within the first 2 hours, I had 60 messages in my inbox of people from everywhere saying, oh my gosh, Mesa, I'm going through the same thing. I just lost my set of twins last month. I just lost this. My husband is completely sterile, blah, 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 blah. And it, at the moment, you know, you seem like, why me? This is awful. Yeah. But then with that experience we have, Derek and I have been able to help so many people. Yeah. The fact that I started sharing and telling about what happened to me, I had this flood of all these people just reaching out to me, asking for my support, but in turn they were also helping me because I knew I wasn't alone, you know?
Exactly.
I did not know how normal it is. And for those of you who are struggling right now, know that you're not alone. And this is so normal. It's sad, but 1 in 4 people will have a miscarriage. 1 in 8 people struggle with infertility. So if you struggle, don't be afraid to reach out. Like, if you want, you can reach out to me and we can talk.
Well, and I think that's what this show is all about too, is bringing to light, like, everybody has something that they're going through. Yeah. And it's been cool to hear, you know, everybody's different stories. And, you know, Kelsey's about her depression, and about Issa's self-love journey, and, you know, Cambria's infertility, and Kenna's story with adoption and what she's been through. Like, I feel like it's important for people to know that they're not alone, that everybody from all walks of life is going through something. And hopefully this little piece of the internet gives you that little piece of hope, and just feeling that, like, wow, they are going through something hard as well, and I can relate to it, and we can get through it together. We can be able to still put light and positivity and share our stories and be able to help others along our way. That was something that happened, well, obviously, when I started sharing my story on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, was that I had so many people that were like reaching out just saying, I've never wanted to pray before, but now I want to pray. And I've never had a relationship with God before, but now I want to have that relationship. And that was my moment where I was like, it's not about me. Like, this is for other people. And I mean, obviously I grew from it, but I feel like you bring so many people along with you on the journey. Yeah. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get a little dance break in here, and then we're going to come back to Mesa's story. Hey, we're back with Mesa. She's amazing. That's right. Get it right. Get it tight. We're back with Mesa and her amazing story. You guys, Mesa is so inspirational, so amazing, and her story is beautiful. Her infertility journey. I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing it. From her while she was going through her situation. I was in the hospital, so I'm just so grateful that I have the opportunity to hear her amazing story. So you ended at you lost your baby.
Yes.
So then what happened after that?
So after that, we just decided the second my ovaries healed, we're just going to jump right back into it. And luckily it healed very quickly, and only downfall was there was miscommunication, and my fertility clinic forgot about me. So I went in to go do my transfer, and they forgot, and they lost all my records. And they were like, oh crap, yeah, you wanted to do another one. So I had to wait an additional month before I could go in again. It was just crazy. But I went in again for a second transfer, and this time we transferred two little embryos, and it was a sickening but like peaceful feeling to go in that fast after having my miscarriage. And ended up that we lost one again. I miscarried one, but I kept another one, and that's my little baby boy that's upstairs with your boys. So,
and now she has a beautiful little boy, you guys.
He will be one next week.
Yes, that's amazing. What a miracle.
Oh,
what a miracle.
And I'll tell you what, he made me fight for it. I had a horrific pregnancy. Like, I think on average I would throw up 6 times a day. I was on a chicken broth and Gatorade diet for the first 4 months of my pregnancy. And I was still doing shots, trying to keep him in there. And at one point I was getting IVs because I was so dehydrated. It was crazy. And then had a, like Cambria, really scary near-death experience in my delivery. So it was crazy, but he's worth it. He's worth every second.
They are. They're worth it.
Yeah, they are. They make you work for them, but they're worth it.
The cool things, I mean, I feel like the cool thing about the last couple episodes, with Mesa and then Cambria is, bringing forth life is just such a huge gift, but like you never realize the sacrifice, like what a sacrifice women go through to bring in a life to this world.
Well, and it makes you just appreciate any form of life, no matter what it is.
Totally.
I only had my first little embryo in me for maybe 2-3 weeks, but oh my gosh, I think about that embryo all the time.
Well, what would you to leave our viewers with? An uplifting message. Anybody that's watching can relate to your story or is going through a similar experience or something hard. Like, what is something that you could leave with them to help them along in their journey?
I would say, first and foremost, trust yourself. Trust your gut. If you feel like something's wrong, fight for yourself and do not give up until you have an answer to what is wrong. Second, just please don't feel like that you're alone. Reach out to somebody. I will be that person for you. Please message me anytime. Reach out to people. Have a support group. And fertility does not have to be a shamed, scary, keep it quiet thing. And the more we talk about it, the more we spread awareness and the more that we are able to be there for each other. So, and don't give up. Just keep going. And I promise they're worth it. They're those cute little squishy babies. Oh, they're so worth it. They make you fight for them, but they're so worth it. So.
Thank you. I think it's really profound, you guys, if you've been watching all the episodes, that whenever I ask someone that question so far, they always say you're not alone. Like, that's one of the things everybody says is you're not alone. So I want to leave that with you guys today. Remember that you are not alone. Whatever you are going through, whatever life opportunity is in your path right now, This is your journey. You were born for this, and you are not alone. Reach out, talk to somebody, ask for help. Reach out. You are not alone. And we're so grateful. Mesa, if people want to find you and reach out to you, what is let them know your Instagram and where to find you.
Yes. At Mesa Holyoke. Holyoke is my maiden name. MaysahOlyoak. Or it's Mesa Holyoke Biaco. You can find me through all of that. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mesa. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being such a light. Like her light is just beaming, you guys. Beaming. It's amazing. So thank you for being here and taking the time to share your story. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode today. We love you guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to go out and make someone smile today. You guys do something that makes people happy. That's the joy about life. Okay? I love you guys. Aloha means hello, goodbye, and we love you. Him, you, me, we got this.